Hi. Hello. Happy Friday. So let's talk appraisals today. So a couple of things that I want to go over about appraisals are, number one, the method in which they're ordered. Number two, the time frame. And then number three, the liability and how kind of that works. So as of probably 10 or 15 years ago, appraisal management, or AMCs, came into play, where we have to order appraisals through the AMC so that we aren't picking the appraiser, we aren't having any effect on value, we are not coercing them to value. Because back in the old days, because again, remember, I've been doing this since 1991, so over 30 years, and very, very different, changed a lot since I started doing this. But so FHA, conventional, and rural development loans are all ordered through our AMC. So we go online, we electronically order the appraisal, and then appraisal, or the AMC, actually assigns an appraiser on a rotation. And so that way we do not have any input on who the appraiser is. So we don't have any input. The builders have no input. The realtors have no input. No one has any input except for the electronic ordering of the appraisal. On a VA appraisal, which has always been this way, we go to their website, we plug in the pertinent data for an appraisal, and then it spits an appraiser back out to us. So time frame on them being delivered, I'll kind of start backwards. So VA appraiser, currently the guidelines are regulated that they have 10 business days to complete the report and upload it back to VA's portal from the time frame in which it was ordered. So that's kind of a hard deadline of when they're supposed to have it uploaded. Now, it can take longer than 10 days if they can't get in touch with the listing agent, if they can't get into the home, if someone, for example, requests that they delay it slightly, then there could be a slight delay in that 10-day delivery. If the value is on question or in question on a VA loan, then the VA appraiser will invoke what is called Tidewater. They will reach out to the contact, to the mortgage lender, and say, I'm invoking Tidewater. We will then reach out to the listing agent and let them know Tidewater is being invoked. Do you have any other comparables out there that maybe the appraiser is missing? And at least it's an opportunity to, because the appraisers are human. Sometimes they make mistakes. Sometimes they miss them. I have had realtors provide comparables that the appraisers have then gone back and been able to make the value because they just overlooked one. So it is possible, especially if your loan officer is very involved like I am in my transaction. So that's VA. Then that appraisal is uploaded to the portal, and then an underwriter reviews that, issues what's called a notice of value, and then it is typically underwritten separately than the actual credit package. When it comes to FHA, conventional and rural development, the appraiser, he kind of has whatever's a negotiated time to complete that appraisal report, and then he'll upload it back into the AMC's website. It's reviewed, and then they send it on to the mortgage company, to the lender. So, but the main thing that I wanted to touch base about was some things that I'm hearing. So a lot of agents really don't like VA loans. A lot of it's just ignorance to the process, not stupidity, but just ignorance to the process, because they don't understand some of what's required by the appraisers. They also don't realize that VA actually monitors. They do field reviews quite extensively on the appraisers to make sure that they are actually doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're not inflating values. They're not lying about square footage. They're not lying. I mean, and yeah, I can make it sound nicer and not use the word lying, but that's really what it is, lying. They are not lying about the distance, in mileage away. They're field reviewed, so they know, and they have a lot at stake, because then they can be kicked off of the panel. But then you have the other three loan types: FHA, conventional and rural development. Those types of loans, yes, they have been and are subject to field reviews, but here is what's happening. Here's the change that's occurring, and this is the main thing I wanted to talk about, was because the changes that are coming, Fannie Mae is, they've always had the capability to make lenders repurchase loans, and they are doing that. They have done that more probably in the last several years than they have done in many, many, many years combined. because they want to get those off of their balance sheets, right? Because, and it's on silly stuff. It's not even, I mean, some stuff I'm sure is egregious and it's valid and those types of things, but a lot of other times it's over very silly stuff that you would not think. Maybe an underwriter put the income at $2,000 and really the income was at $2,300, and they have asked the lender to rebuy the loan or to buy the loan back because they did not adequately state the income. There's lots and lots of stories about that. All of that to say, when it comes to the appraisers, here's what's happening now. Fannie Mae is coming back to those lenders and wanting them to repurchase loans based on invalid appraisals or fraudulent data on an appraisal or just mistakes on an appraisal. So appraisers have, appraisals are not, sometimes there's a little bit of subjectivity to them. Well, here's the other thing they're doing. They're going directly back to appraisers, which has not been something that has happened. That was very bad English, I apologize. That's not been something that has happened in a very long time or with much frequency, but I've talked to several appraisers literally just within the last 24 hours that this is happening more and more frequently. Now, so you say, well, why does that matter? Why do I care? Well, here's why we care. Builders, realtors, and other lenders, we care because what is happening is these appraisers are starting to turn down those jobs that are not cut and dry. They're starting to turn down those jobs that may require a little bit of subjectivity, or maybe the comparable is a little further away, or maybe it's a very unique house that they're having to make large adjustments in order to justify the value. In their mind, it is justified because of the comparables that they provided. I'm not talking about the ones that are they just made up crap to make it work. I'm talking about ones that they really, based on their appraiser experience and guidelines, that they feel like that value is substantiated. They are now also reporting those appraisers to the state license board. So the stakes are very, very much higher. So what is this going to do? So this is going to have the same effect on these appraisers that it has on these VA appraisals. They're going to be much more conservative, which I'm not really sure how that's all going to work out, but it is going to cause them to change. It has already caused them to change the way in which they appraise, the assignments that they accept. So these are things that we all need to keep in mind as we go forward. That is the overall way that appraisals are done, and the outlook and that the appraisers are operating under, that is changing because they're being held more accountable, and that's going to cause them to be a little more conservative. So keep that in your mind whenever you are trying to comp out an appraisal. If it has big adjustments, or other sales, and there are big adjustments, just keep in mind that the appraiser may come back a little bit more conservative about that. And they're going back several years. It's not just they're going back on a deal that was done a month ago. This appraiser I talked to this morning said this appraisal he's being questioned on is from almost 3 years ago. So just food for thought, but that's just a little overview. If any appraisers are watching this and you want to chime in on that, please do not hesitate to do so. More information, I always believe that more information is better, and more information allows all of us to make more educated decisions about how we proceed in this business. So have a great day.